In an interview, Julia Roberts revealed that she would feature in as many romance scenes as directors want her to, but where she draws the line is in taking off her clothes. But does that mean she's a prude when it comes to the subject of her sex life? Well, that's the question we'll try to answer in this video. It is a little difficult to believe, but Julia Roberts is no more special than any average lady who hates being watched while doing her bedroom business. As a matter of fact, Julia Roberts might actually be a little more terrified than we know of scenes like this. This is why she almost passed out during the filming of the movie, which brought her to the limelight. Pretty Woman was Julia's call to stardom, and there were a few things that she did on set that she might not be too proud of. The most memorable of them was those romantic moments behind the camera with Richard Gere. Julia was always very nervous whenever it was time to shoot. In one scene, she had painful and itchy rashes on her skin, and in another, a very big vein popped up on her forehead. At this point, she had wished that she had not accepted the Vivian Ward's role in the romance comedy film. It might not be easy to imagine, but Julia Roberts was not the first choice for the female lead role. She was not even second or the third. The first invitation went to Meg Ryan, but after she turned them down, it was passed on to Kim Basinger. Then, Melanie Griffith and Sarah Jessica Parker before it got down to Julia Roberts. To deal with the big vein on Julia's forehead, director Gary Marshall had to get in bed with Richard and Julia to massage the vein until it disappeared. In another scene, Gary has no other choice but to tickle her feet to help ease her anxiety. For all her troubles in the film, Julia was compensated with the sum of $300,000, which a lot of people thought was unfair for a movie that grossed over $463 million worldwide. Anyway, the actress won a Best Actress Golden Globe and earned another Oscar nomination, so I don't think that she cared too much about the money. After this, Julia got bolder with the sex scenes in her script, but the romance in her life was another unbelievable challenge that she is still trying to manage even to this day. It's easy for many people to claim constant communication as the reason for their love stories were the best, but Julia was different. She was going to be as raw when she was interviewed on her subject. According to the actress, the secret sauce for an enduring romance was lots of making out. To her, it was as easy as this. Julia Roberts has been married to her husband, Danny Moder, for 20 years, and this is something she revealed made her marriage even more successful. The couple share 3 children. Many people still maintain that the actress was in no place to offer advice on relationships and marriages. They argued that she was just lucky to have found love after multiple heartbreaks. This argument holds in some way, as Julia seemed to have gambled her way to her happily ever after. But even this gift was anything but easy. Her first romance was with American actor Liam Neeson. She was 19, and they met for the first time on the set of Satisfaction. A lot of things were wrong about this ship that even the best makeout session would struggle to fix. First was that Neeson was 16 years her senior, and the second was that the industry would always fight back. They dated for a while, but everything came crashing down after they moved in together in Venice, California. Their relationship ended shortly after, and some even claimed that they became enemies. The next time Julia was going to work hard to keep a man, she would leave him standing at the altar. Julia found love again on the set of the 1988 Steel Magnolias. Dylan McDermott was her on-screen husband, and soon enough they thought it was a good idea to continue their romance when the cameras stopped rolling. According to many popular magazines, their love lasted only for 2 years, and somewhere in that, Dylan proposed to Julia. She accepted only to deny him at the altar. Everything ended in 1990, and Julia seemed satisfied. Her next adventure on the love highway had her in one of the most scandalous love triangles in the industry. Julia met Kiefer Sutherland and she fell for his charm. Kiefer at the time was recently divorced and Julia was nursing a broken heart. Misery brought them together, but it would still tear them further apart. Like her last relationship, Kiefer proposed, and she agreed, but a few days before the wedding, Julia called the entire show off. It was hard for the actor at first, but after a few years, he would praise Julia for this brave decision. On her reason for leaving another man standing on the altar again, Julia claims that they were just not right for each other. A few investigations hinted that Sutherland was keeping an affair. While this might be true, Julia wasn't a saint herself. On the day that her canceled wedding was supposed to take place, Julia was spotted on a coffee date with the best friend of her former boyfriend, Jason Patrick. On their breakup, Kiefer said, "I commend Julia for seeing how young and silly we were, even at the last minute, even as painful and as difficult as it was. Thank God she saw it." Turned out that she started another romance with Patrick, but that also did not last. Deciding to try her luck outside the industry, Julia was hooked with American singer and songwriter Lyle Lovett. This was her first marriage, and when it ended, Julia was going to excuse it as a miscalculation. Their love began in 1993, and after 3 weeks, they decided to tie the knot. The couple wanted to move really quickly, and in less than 72 hours, they had their entire wedding planned and functioning. 2 years into their marriage, Julia filed a divorce and has never looked back. Interestingly, she still argues that her union with Lyle was not a mistake. According to her, so many good things came out of it for it to be tagged as a mistake. On the real reason for their separation, Julia blames the demands of their career and irreconcilable differences. Now, the only thing standing between Julia Roberts and her happily ever after was actor Benjamin Bratt. With the actor, Julia experienced instantaneous love for the first time. They began a romance a few days after they met in a restaurant. Julia and Benjamin took things slow, but even that wasn't a guarantee that their love would last. They were together for 4 years, and then the pressures of the media folded this chapter of Julia Roberts' love story. The final man that Julia Roberts tried to keep with her makeout technique was Danny Motter, and luckily, he stayed the longest. Motter was married at his first meeting with Julia, and she would be blamed for destroying his marriage. "He sorted his whole thing out separate and apart from me," Julia said as she tried to defend herself. "I sorted my life out, separate and apart from him. I think that's the only reason we were able to ultimately fall in love with each other and be together." Recently, Julia and her husband celebrated their 21st wedding anniversary, and the actress, like in her rom-com, has found true happiness. Hopefully. When Julia conquered her phobia for sex scenes, she realized that the only way she was going to maintain her relevance in the industry was to continue in what brought the industry to her. But even as an accomplished actress, Julia hates when her character has to feature in many steamy scenes. This has caused quite a few problems with directors who insist that she follow her script. She always argued that her fans didn't even want to see her having sex in her films. They know and respect her because she is the queen of foreplay, kiss, and dissolve. This stands true as evidenced by some of her features such as Ticket to Paradise, Valentine's Day, Runaway Bride, and Larry Crown. Aside from that, Julia Roberts also decided many years before she became popular to punish her fans by not giving them any more than she had to. For the actress, nudity was not even an option to consider. She hated it and has continued to refuse to be convinced. "I wouldn't do nudity in films. To act with my clothes on is a performance. To act with my clothes off is a documentary," Julia said. She uses a body double for any revealing scenes like the one as a prostitute in 1990's Pretty Woman. On the reason why she is never going to budge on this subject, Julia confessed that she wants her children to respect her as a mother, and also nude scenes make her very uncomfortable. She concluded by saying that she doesn't condemn actresses who are open to options of appearing nude and taking their own stunts. So, all of this was just a personal decision. Lately, Julia Roberts is learning to take things slow as she focuses on her duties as a wife and mother. Her last film appearance was in the 2023 American psychological film, Leave the World Behind. Julia Roberts, now 56 years old, is in such great shape for a mother of 3. She enjoys the wealth of her prime with her family in a mansion in New Mexico. The actress has an estimated net worth of $250 million. If you enjoyed this video, there's a good chance you'll also enjoy the one showing on your screen right now. Click, enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you on the next one.